he ended up closing his fist and just punching my mother in the face. And I remember the feeling of just nausea and feeling powerless.
Liz's dad struggled with alcoholism, and domestic violence was a part of their everyday lives.
So it was like this constant fight or flight experience that I had living at home, because I was just terrified of what we were going to go through.
Her parents moved from Mexico to California for a better life. Whenever they worked, Liz was left in the care of relatives. When she was 7, an older male cousin sexually molested her for months.
I felt sick to my stomach, and I told him, I can't do this. If you continue doing this to me, I'm going to scream. And luckily that was the last time it happened, but the damage had already been done.
Liz told her parents, but was silenced into shame.
I felt so powerless. Again, I felt angry. I felt like nobody was going to protect me.
By the time Liz was 14, she had full-blown anxiety and depression. She began partying, having sex, and drinking to run away from her anguish.
I began self-medicating because I felt like I finally figured out what would help me.
After she graduated from high school, she met a smooth-talking Marine who told her just what she wanted to hear.
He said, if you would have my baby, I would treat you like a queen. I was looking to be loved. I was looking to be protected. I was looking to just find someone to save me. And I put my whole life in his hands. We went ahead, got pregnant, and that began a complete nightmare where domestic violence was again my new normal.
Still, Liz married him hoping things would change for the better, but his treatment of her only got worse.
I figured that being with a husband that was abusive was better than her being without a father.
After 4 years of constant abuse, Liz finally left with her daughter and ended up living at a battered women's shelter.
I'm just a worthless person that doesn't deserve love, that doesn't deserve to have a harmonious marriage, and this is just going to be part of my life. I couldn't imagine a God that would allow so many things to happen, and I blamed him for everything, including my actions.
Liz eventually divorced her husband and gained sole custody of their daughter. For the next 5 years, she and her daughter lived in homeless shelters. She also got involved with the occult.
And then I would do African healings with a shaman in North Hollywood, and I would just read the tarot cards. I even got certified to be a hypnotherapist. And I was so lost that I felt like Jesus was just like Buddha. He was just another master teacher. And I just began to get darker and darker and more depressed. And it was this cycle of anxiety. I would drink at night to take the anxiety away. And the next day when I would be hungover, the anxiety would come worse.
One day, she started dating a man named Emmanuel who began inviting her to his Christian church. He also prayed for her.
He said, God, please help my friend. Please use her. She's been hurt. She's been hurt for so long. And I just ask you to use my friend and do not give up on her. That's when God rescued me. That's when it began. He heard that prayer. He heard it.
Then one night, she had a dream where she says God spoke to her in a powerful way.
And Jesus said to me, Liz, I used Emmanuel to bring you back. I want you to serve me. And I remember waking up and just getting on my knees and saying, God, Jesus, you are the Son of God. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for just lying and thinking that you were not God. I surrender completely to you.
Liz started going to church, and over time, she says God delivered her from her alcohol addiction and even her depression and anxiety. She repented of dabbling in the occult and forgave everyone who hurt her.
So it was a process of renouncing the New Age and walking completely in Christ. It was a process of forgiving those who hurt me and understanding that God forgave me. So if God can forgive me, then I must forgive because his blood is enough. For the first time in my life, I found something that was unchanging, something that was completely pure, something that was so unconditional. And for the first time in my life, I realized that I was worth something.
Liz obtained her degree in biblical studies and became an ordained pastor. She's written a book about her journey called Women in the Well. She also teaches others how to write about their testimonies through her online course called Project I Am: From Broken to Breakthrough.
I think the level of our obedience and our surrender is the level of our breakthrough. And we have to be co-participants of God, that His love is completely unconditional. He doesn't love the way humans love. He loves with a reckless, unconditional love. And He's just waiting for you to come home.